What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another random movie review channel. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Chase, and let's talk about one. And the one I want to talk about right now is Halloween Ends. Now, this one actually drops in theaters and on Peacock with the premium service this Friday, October 14th, if you choose to watch this film, regardless of what I'm about to say. So, what's this movie about? According to IMDb, this is the saga of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode that comes to a spine chilling climax in this final installment of this trilogy. So, I'm not going to tell you anything about the plot because that's what it says on IMDb. This is what I do for you guys, so that's what you're getting. Um, and honestly, it's kind of hard to explain plot wise, anyways. So I think this works out. So going into this film, I've got a lot of thoughts. I'm gonna just start all the way back with the original real quick, and I'll just kind of go down the line. I love the original. I actually like Halloween 2 quite a bit. The rest of the films kind of a blur. Uh, Halloween H2O thought was pretty cool in the first like 15 minutes. Halloween Resurrection, fun, campy. The Rob Zombie film, I kind of like. I have a soft spot for it. Uh, Halloween 2, I don't even remember it. And then now we get to the Halloween iteration that we have of 2018. I like the 2018 version. I did not like Halloween Kills, but I love John Carpenter's take on the main theme. So now here we are with this one, supposed to be the final one. Ends. It was really funny, by the way, because that's what the movie's been marketing as. I think I saw the trailer for it. I didn't want to know anymore. Where I'm be like, okay, I'm going into this thing. Surprise me, David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, two of the funniest people to ever be attached to this franchise, but that's neither here nor there. So I saw the film. I want to take a break to thank the sponsor of this video, Movie Palette. Hi, it's me interrupting me, and I just wanted to take a break to thank the sponsor of this review, Movie Palette. Movie Palette takes the concept of the movie poster to the next level. Movie Palette consists of stripes of colors carefully chosen by their team of artists. Every stripe represents a color of a particular scene in a movie and is put in chronological order on the canvas. There are so many movies to pick from, and it doesn't even stop there. They also have whole seasons of TV shows. I recently moved and I needed some things to put on my wall, and I was getting tired of putting up traditional movie posters and wanting something different, and Movie Palette stepped up to the plate. The movie palette that I chose was one of my favorite movies of all time, Logan. This gorgeous palette is a constant reminder of how beautiful this film is and how each scene evokes a different emotion all through its language of color, not to mention a great conversation starter. This is a unique piece to any film and TV lover's home, and I want to help you get one. Use the discount code CHASE15 for 15% off of any product on their website. Film is art, so why not display your favorite as such? That's 15% off of your order when you use the code CHASE15. I'm kind of whatever with it. I also don't really care for it, but I will say that I like it better than Halloween Kills, and it's right under Halloween. This is how I would actually rate them right now. I would go Halloween, Halloween Ends, and Halloween Kills. But in terms of main theme, I would go Halloween Kills, Halloween, Halloween Ends. So there you go. But we'll get into that in just a second. But okay, so for Halloween Ends, this was an experience for sure. Director David Gordon Green, of course, he's also a co-writer on it. He wrote the first draft to all three of these movies with Danny McBride. The one thing that Halloween Ends uh, that it does correctly is at least be different. We're like 12, 13 movies into this franchise. It's usually the same stuff, right? Now, they've kind of floated the idea around of, there's like this supernatural thing. It's Michael Myers. He's walking around. He's like the embodiment of evil. Like, he can uh, pass it on to other people. It sounds stupid, right? They do that for this. They do. And here's the thing. While it is absolutely just idiotic the whole way through, none of it really makes any sense. It's it's supernatural horror at this point now. I gotta admit, at least it's different. And at least it was interesting for its almost 2-hour runtime to where I never really felt bored by it. I was actually curious to see how crazier it would actually get. But with like Halloween Kills, it was just kind of a more of the same from the first one. And there were some interesting ideas with like mob mentality and like who the actual monsters are. I know it's not really like that fleshed out and that like poignant, but you get my drift. With this one, the whole supernatural bent to it is at least unique in how it sticks out from the trilogy. Doesn't mean it's good, but it's at least unique. Also, David Gordon Green also likes to spice in his movies with some comedy every now and then. This has got some weird comedy. All three of them do, actually. And you kind of uncomfortably laugh at some of the jokes and situations because there are some moments in this where I was kind of just baffled as to what I just saw. Um, but the whole theater I was in was laughing and kind of having a good time with its kind of like offbeat humor. So I'm like, I'm kind of enjoying it too. In terms of its actual like kill count and the bodies and the gore and stuff, if you are into the slasher films and that's what you go for, this has got some interesting kills. Definitely some disturbing ones. There was one where I was like, man, if that was actually in focus, this might have made this film get an NC-17. But there was one kill where I was like, good God. It's just that is graphic. But yeah, if you're looking for like a slasher film, the kills are there, the jump scares are there. Uh, you know, the stalking of Michael Myers and like the anticipation and terror that is there. It's not in there that much, but if that's what you're looking for, then you might enjoy this. But I think the one thing that I will say about the story and it kind of going more down a supernatural route, I think it's going to turn a lot of people off. I think a lot of people are going to hate this movie, just like they did with Kills. But I think they're going to hate this one even worse. But honestly, like I said, you can't just show me the same thing 3 times in a row, right? So spice it up a bit. And I like the fact that they kind of did this kind of stupid supernatural stuff to it because you know what? With this type of idiocy that some of these characters have and some of the blinders that they have on and they have no idea what's going on, they kind of deserve it. They kind of deserve something stupid like this to happen. So, um, yeah, I don't think the story fully worked for me, but you're gonna get something different if you watch this film and you're a fan of the franchise. Now, what I will say that this film does a little bit better than Halloween Kills did was the, I guess, kind of themes kind of permeating throughout the film. Like I said earlier, like with Halloween Kills, you have the mob mentality and like who are the actual monsters and like you push people into paranoia that can do evil things and I got all that. Evil dies tonight. Remember that chant that was happening for 33 minutes straight in that movie? Okay. With this one, there's a lot of great things kind of spoken about through secondhand characters where they just kind of like interact with Laurie and they like say something kind of profound and something that kind of chills me to my core when they talk about like when a tragedy happens and people get angry on like the victim's behalf, it takes away from the victims that are actually angry because these people are making it about themselves. And so there was stuff like that I was like, okay, that is like what the core of this movie is about. Also with like, like there's evil always around us like and it's a matter of like if we face our fears, like all that stuff, evil comes in many forms and shapes, like I get all that too, but there was stuff like the grief thing and the anger thing, taking it away from victims and making it into about themselves, like with other people. That was fascinating. I like that. It was good stuff. And like I said, some of the things that Laurie said about, running away from fear your whole life and standing up and, conquering your fears, like stuff like that was nice because I'm like, at least it makes some of the cheesy dialogue and some of the weird jokes like actually like, make this experience worthwhile. And so I really found some of the stuff like that to be quite good. Now, are they going to ever go into like real depth with that stuff? No, they're not. It's still a Michael Myers movie. I get that. But that was the stuff that kind of stuck out to me, story wise and character wise. But David Gordon Green, I got to give him props. I got to give him and Danny McBride props. They were able to pitch an entire trilogy with Michael Myers and literally have like the last two just kind of go off the rails. And they got away with it. So congrats, guys. But yeah, it's like I said, to wrap up kind of like David's like directing style. It's oddly funny. It's extremely gory. It's extremely brutal. It's got some interesting story elements to it. The final conclusion between Laurie and Michael was kind of satisfying. You know, everyone in my audience was going crazy for it. But yeah, if you're wanting to watch something this horror season and you want to watch a slasher film, this is not a bad choice. It's just whatever. I'm kind of done with this series. Um, but yeah, it has like the same flavor as the first two. So if you don't like the first two, I don't think you're gonna like this one. And if you really like the first two, I don't even think you're gonna like this one either. So okay, performances. I think Jamie Lee Curtis owns this role. I could watch her do this for 3 hours, 4 hours, because she has embodied this character so many times. She knows what she's doing. She's a badass. And I appreciate it. I like it. I like the fact that she comes back to it. She doesn't really care about continuity or like which films are actually like um uh you know, tied with the first one. She doesn't care about any of that. She's like John Carpenter, where that man just gets paid and he's like, I don't care if you guys make 20 of these movies. I get paid, and then I get to go smoke and play video games in my house. What a life. Seriously. Little tangent, but whatever. Um, Everyone else that has been a part of this like trilogy kind of comes back and they kind of wrap up all their storylines and stuff. Everyone's fine. But I think the new person, um, Rohan Campbell, who plays this character named Corey Cunningham. I won't say much, but I will say that he did a pretty good job for what he was given. His actual storyline and like his interaction with like Michael Myers and like, Laurie Strode and stuff, like some of it's stupid, and some of it you're just like, there's no way that like people are not seeing the red flags from this gentleman. But he's pretty good. Like at the beginning of the film, he is a completely different person than he was at the end of the film, and I believed the switch. I believed what he was like inhabiting in his body and like what is taking over. And I thought he was probably the most interesting performance out of all these people. Um, and then also, I don't think this is gonna really ruin anything, but you know how like in horror films or action films or comedy films, it's always the bully that's like bullying the main character, and it's like, wow, these are like complete d bags. The one of the funniest things about this is that the bullies in this are band nerds. I love it because I was in band, and I'm like, Danny McBride probably pulled out the best joke that out of all three of these movies is that a group of band nerds are the ones that are capable of like bullying and like like torturing people. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. But yeah, I thought everyone else, you know, they do their part. But the more fascinating character was Corey Cunningham, played by Ryan Campbell. All right, and the last thing, well, a couple things. I remember in Halloween Kills, it actually had some pretty interesting cinematography, especially in the flashback scenes. Kind of thrown out the window here. There's really nothing creative about the cinematography here, even though like the first one has like that iconic shot of like Michael in the basement as it's burning. Very, very powerful shot. Halloween Kills, I loved the lighting, kind of the vintage cinematography of like the flashbacks in the sequel. Nothing special here. It's just kind of there. Um, yeah, I thought the lighting was kind of blah. I thought the cinematography was kind of blah. I thought there were some interesting things they were trying to do in the beginning of it, but like didn't really do much for me. Um, but yeah, and the last thing I want to talk about the theme, because John Carpenter has done the music for all three of these movies. The main theme, Redux, in the first one. was really cool. Taking the old 1978 theme and kind of like putting a kind of a techno underbed to it with like some heavy bass, like that was kind of cool. Nice little upgrade. Halloween Kills has the best one by far, with like the angels singing, and it's super disturbing when you listen to it over and over again. But I love that one. That's probably my favorite one. There's nothing done to this theme here. Now I could be wrong. I'll probably listen to it over a little bit more, but just hearing it in a theater, like I remember when I saw the first Halloween and Halloween Kills, where like I sat there just kind of listening to the theme, and I was like, this is really powerful and gripping type of stuff from Carpenter. I get why this one is kind of more of just like the stripped down to the original, because like this is the end, like it's the book end, and we're tying everything together. But you could have done something different. I was looking forward to the theme and like how he was going to amp it up for this one. There was a little bit of tweaking to it, but for the most part, it's more stripped down to the original. But I think that's kind of the whole point with the book end thing. But I digress. Okay, that's a lot to talk about for a slasher film. Listen, do I recommend this film? I'm a fan of some of the films in this franchise, but honestly, I don't. I'll put it on almost the same level as Halloween Kills. I think it's like a step up from it because at least it embraces its silliness with its story. But I would put it below the 2018 version. This whole trilogy was just it was something. I'll give them that. But yeah, so this is like I said, it's very kind of hard to dance around some of the spoilers too, but what do you think of Halloween Ends? I don't really have any more to say about it. But yeah, let me know down below whether you liked it, loved it, hated it. What did you think of this one? What did you think of Kills? What did you think of the first one? What did you think of the whole like new trilogy overall? I want to know your thoughts on it. Let's have a discussion down below. And that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee, and tune in next time for whatever I review next. I will see you guys later.